Okay, you guys, so in true MompreneurLiving Sam life, I am still yet to get out of my gym clothes because I still yet have to close my ring on the treadmill 30 minutes. Instead, because I procrastinated, I chose that somehow moving our sons, our two toddlers, their little play cubby maker or whatever thing out of the living room into the staircase closet underneath, cleaning that out, moving their play tent from upstairs to downstairs, reassembling under the staircase, and then proceeding to mini organize in there was more important. It wasn't. I'm not supposed to be doing that. According to my productivity today, Sam Root was supposed to be doing all kinds of other gaga instead of that. But you know what? Great thing about being an entrepreneur, I'm adjusting my schedule today and it won't be the end of the world. With that said, in true commitment fashion, if you have not seen this on my YouTube channel, I have my initial thought about this book, Your Pocket Life Coach, 10 minutes a day to transform your life. It was an $8 buy at Barnes & Noble. I've been trying to buy it online through Amazon. They only sell the Kindle version. Don't buy the Kindle version. I know it looks super cheap. You're going to want to write in this damn thing. Don't buy it. You need to get to Barnes & Noble. If you have one nearby, you need to buy it online and have them ship it to you, pay the shipping fee. This is such a good book. So what I committed to do was I committed to not read chapter by chapter because that would be boring and honestly quite dumb because then you wouldn't buy the book. But I did commit that I would talk on a scenario level, kind of brief summary, if you will, on each chapter. So I'm going to start today with chapter 1. The title of chapter 1 is, so I can be politically correct, Jumpstart the Next Phase of Your Life. This was written by Carol Gaskell. She is, or Gaskell, I still have yet to know. I need to really research that. But she's a life coach, and she created this book, 10 minutes a day, so that you can really focus on personal growth. It will not take 10 minutes a day if you really want to invest correctly in yourself. It's going to take you about an hour. Break them into subchapters if you want. Take 10 minutes a day. You're going to find yourself addicted to this thing and you're probably going to want to invest that hour. So I just prep you. I've done it at night. I've done it on the weekend. I've done it early in the morning. I've done it in the middle of the day. I've done it while I was watching Netflix. But you're going to want to do this correctly. Okay? Don't jump around the chapters. You know what I'm talking about. If you get bored or you are in the denial bubble of yourself thinking you've got all that under control, that means you needed the chapter. You don't have it under control. Deal? So, chapter 1, Jumpstart the Next Phase of Your Life. I am going to hop on in. I am going to get rocking and rolling on this chapter real quick. There's going to be some assessments that she does throughout the chapters. They're on the checkmark level of yes, no, sometimes. Based on those, you're going to give yourself some points. And at the very beginning of the book, they're going to tell you what those numbers mean based on your scores. Now, based on that is how you know which chapter to really dig in more, or the exercises to dig in more, or work that you're going to need to do after the fact. Because God forbid we have to do action after things we learn. Little things that I learned in this chapter was that there's some things that I do really good with and some things that I just do good with. I'm going to give you guys an example of something that I checked off. Again, yes, sometimes, or no. I take full responsibility for what happens to me in life. I check sometimes. Another one, I know I always have a choice. Yes. I am fully aware of my key accomplishments in life. No. Does that give you an example of these kind of questions? So that's what I worked on. There's quotes throughout this book that are awesome. So for the sake of chapter 1, she has some really good ones. Something that I really liked were learn to get in touch with the silence within yourself and know that everything in this life has purpose. There are no mistakes, no coincidences. All events are blessings given to us to learn from. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. I like that quote. The one thing that I loved about this was that the chapter itself, I really struggle with accepting wholeheartedly and open achievements that I've done. For some reason, I don't know if I've been wired that way, or I don't know if I was genetically built that way, or I don't know if I've had enough screwed up things happen in my life that have caused me to be this way. I don't know, but I struggle with accepting that I have achievements. So even though I run a real estate team, or lead one, I run a successful real estate business on my own, like my own production that I do. I would, in the eyes of the public, I'm successful and I live a successful life. Okay, from like, I don't know, that's my opinion. Other people's opinion about me too. But even though I have all that success, I struggle with saying, great job, Sam. I suck at that. I suck at it. I'm not good at it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a -2. So achievements that I did, it forced me to think of 3. And again, you get the book, focus on these things. You're going to see that this is a repeat, okay? Because you're going to be like, holy crap, those were the questions that were in the book that she just said. Yeah, because it's a chapter review. So achievements. Look back the last few years. What are your 3 biggest achievements? So I thought achievement number 1 that came to mind was I became CEO of a multi-million-dollar company at age 37. Pretty big achievement. Achievement number 2, I quit a 6-figure income job to start a company. CEO job at 37, quit at 37, started a company because I'm batshit crazy. Some days I think that. Achievement 3, became a more present mom for my daughter. I don't go around showboating about all of this stuff. It makes me feel awkward. Usually makes me want to throw up, so I have to take ginger pills for the nausea. But it was awesome to be able to write it down and then see them for what they are. So I had a moment where I could actually see some achievements and not feel guilt or shame. It's going to talk about challenges. It's going to talk about lessons that you've learned about the process. And by lessons, it means, if you're really honest with yourself, where you could have done better. Remember, she's a life coach, so this is about personal reflection. This is not about you blaming Joe Schmo and using all kinds of excuses of why everything went sideways. It's self-reflection. Look inside. Where did you fall short? At the end of each chapter, I love the idea. She gives these quick tips. I love it because it kind of breaks down the short chapter into even more short, bite size, and it summarizes. So if there was a homework piece that you needed to do or a question that was thought-provoking from that chapter, she kind of summarizes it all up there. So I really, really like those. She breaks things down and usually numbers each chapter. So you'll have chapter 1, for example, point 1, point 2, point 3, so that it doesn't feel overwhelming. I also love that simply because if you're going to break these down into subchapters, so you're not getting it all done in one day or one sitting, then you know where you left off, so it's not so choppy. And if you were going to quit halfway through one of the numbers, if you will, it's going to make you want to stick around because the numbers are bite-sized. They're not huge. It talks about the wheel of success. I did mine and looks all janked up, which I knew I was already all screwed up in certain categories, but it was nice to see because then I understand. I liked this one because I do a lot of self-reflection, assessments, etc. And this one was done a little bit differently where I liked that I wasn't seeing the same word. Physical, spirituality, financial, blah, blah, blah. Like it broke down with actual, like a phrase that was thought-provoking. It talks about putting your life into perspective. I loved it. Each chapter is not so overwhelming that you want to mentally shut down and you never want to open the damn book again. They are done in a way that is easy to understand. She doesn't talk over you with words that you need to get a Webster's dictionary out for. And it makes you feel good. I can tell you that this book, I took a chapter a day. I think there were 2 or 3. And as I go and summarize again. If it was a chapter that it took me longer than a day, I'll tell you guys it took me longer than a day to do. But chapter 1, I did in a seating. I think it took me like 50 minutes because that first day I wanted to time myself because that's how ridiculous I am sometimes. But yeah, I just think that it's really good. It goes in an order. So at the beginning of the book, she says it can take you longer than 10 minutes if you want to. It's as much as effort as you want to put in or out. She says that if for any reason there's a chapter that isn't relevant to you, you don't have to do it. I disagree with her because I read her book. I didn't write her book, and I'm telling you, you want to do every chapter. I mean it. Don't skip around. And if you're going to follow me on my chapter summaries, then just commit to me, even though I would never know the difference, honestly, because I'm not seeing you face to face or we're not really staying in touch like in person. I would never know the difference. But please commit to me that you're going to do every chapter. Okay? So I wasn't alone, and that way you get the most out of this book. The chapters, though, go in order of fluidity. That's what I loved about it. I think that's probably one of the top 2 things I loved the most about this book, honestly. It didn't jump around. Sometimes personal growth books or programs jump around all over the place. So you're kind of here one moment and then you're here the next. It was so awesome because the way in which she's asking the questions per chapter, it's progressing so you're not all over the place. It allows you to stay present in the moment. In the next chapter, you didn't miss out, or you don't have to rewind your brain and your mindset to like go back to all that. It flows. It was so cool. I can honestly say this. I read a shit ton of books. I have never read a book, much less a professional development one, that is so fluid. Ever. It was awesome. It was admirable. I really admire her for that. I don't know how she was able to do that, but she has that master down. There is mastery involved in that. That is a skill. But I'm going to read you the chapter. So today we were dealing with chapter 1, Jumpstart the Next Phase of Your Life. That started on page 21. Page 32 is where it ends. Okay. Chapter 2, so tomorrow I will address chapter 2. That one is called Create a Vibrant Vision and Genuine Goals. So again, we're jump starting the next phase of our life. How exciting. But then in order for us to do that, we're going to create a vibrant vision and genuine goals. Okay, so don't miss out on chapter 2. Make sure to get caught up on chapter 1 before you jump, because I don't want you using me as cliff notes. If you get this book, if you gift this book, which I have done also, my real estate team, this is actually going to be one of the books that we include in our onboarding process. So one of the books is Fear is My Homeboy by Judy Holler. The other one is this one. And I'm going to confirm what the third one is because I think I know what I want it to be, but I'm going to read it again. Anyways, this is the book. If you start following it, if you order it, if you use it, if you are writing in it, please comment on my YouTube channel, because I want to connect with you, because that means we are now going to be talking the same language. And B, I want to cheer you on. This is not easy to do. It is not easy to intentionally invest and put cash down or debit card down, right? To say, hey, I'm ready to go see all my screw ups, and I'm ready to see where I fall short, and I'm ready to see how much I've missed the boat and haven't planned for my future. That is not easy. That takes courage. It takes a badass person. That is not easy. So I'm proud of you in advance. I'm just grateful you're even checking this out to see if this is worth your while, because it is worth your while. So again, if you want to connect with me, I'm realizing through my YouTube channel, I don't really tell you guys how to connect with me. If you want to connect with me on Facebook, it's public. I don't hide myself. What you see is what you get. It's under Samantha Root. You'll see all my kids and my crazy life. You can find my business page, Your Realtor Samantha. You can find my real estate team under NicheHomeTeam, NiChe Home Team, not plural. Instagram, I'm under MompreneurLiving, so MompreNeur Living, EUR, okay? I screwed that up, I don't know how many times, but now I got with it. So MompreneurLiving. You can find Niche Home Team on Instagram too. But I also have a podcast on Apple and on your Android. It's whatever that podcast app is that they have, but it's called MompreneurLiving too. With that said, thank you guys for following me. I still have no clue why you do, but here I am in all my damn glory doing shit like this. Love you. See you. If you need anything, encouragement, kick in the ass, prayer, anything, you just let me know. I'm here and happy to help. Bye.